Hey there, welcome back. And in this video about the SuperFly Delta Wing, we're going to bind the receivers and transmitter. I'm sorry, transmitters and receivers together. I've got both the Spektrum AR400 receiver, which is telemetry compatible. So I've got a TM1000 module, and we're going to bind them together and check it out. So I programmed my DX18 just exactly the same way I programmed the DX6, identical programming. So the my method of doing this is to have a on-off switch mounted here so that I can turn on the telemetry module and receiver at the same time, while still going through the VSC. So I've got a one of the 2S1300 batteries that I bought for this project, and we'll see how it works. We'll start with getting the receiver out. Won't need a bind plug this time. Let me get the antenna unwrapped. Okay, so we'll get the antenna for the AR400 ready. Okay. And right now there's no rhyme or reason to which servo goes where. I'll label them later. So this one's going to be the aileron channel. Now the purpose of doing this now versus later is I want the servos centered before I put the arms on. And turning this all on at the same time will center the servo gears, so that when I put the arms on, I know they're centered. Alright. Why aren't you going in there? Just because I didn't line it up right, obviously. Alright, there we go. So I'll set those like that. I'm going to put the connector from the ESC into the throttle channel, and that'll provide power at some point. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. That's why I got the switch. Okay, so the on side of the switch is going to go into the throttle channel. Okay. That's the on side of the switch because that's the single side. The off side of the switch will get the ESC connector into the off side of the switch. So that way I can start the ESC and not have to worry about okay, let's see here. Well, everything's fitting tighter than usual today. There we go. Okay, black to black, chamfer to chamfer, and in you go. Alright, that's good. So I got my battery ready, got my this ready. I'm going to need a TM1000. The TM1000 is, I find a pretty useful tool. There are receivers out there, Spektrum receivers, that have the telemetry built in, but because I have the existing AR400, which is all I need for this kind of thing, and SuperFly really only needs, I guess, 3 channels, not 4. But but this will work fine. Okay. So with the telemetry module comes a little pointer like this, and the telemetry module I'll take out carefully so as not to hurt the antenna. This little pointer is used to start the bind process by pressing that little button right there, and that's the reason why you got to have an extra pair of hands here, because the telemetry module, you got to hold the telemetry module and this and turn the switch on at the same time, so juice flows while you're holding. I'm sure Spektrum will come up with something better soon. It is true, I just found out that the TM1000 module is being discontinued, or is discontinued, but that's okay. I'm sure Spektrum will come up with something better. So, TM1000 module has its, in the data port, has the small little wire, looks like that, and that goes in the data bind port of the AR400 receiver. Okay. And so that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I've got the battery all set to go. And the radio is already programmed and on the right model, and so after I turn all this on, I'm going to go off camera because you need to be 3 feet away from all the electronics here for it to bind well, and we'll get it going here. Alright, so the first thing to do is plug in the battery, but no juice to the receiver yet until I flip the switch. Switch is off. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to push in the button, and with my little pinky finger here, I'm going to turn it on. Okay, you can see it's flashing. We're off camera here, more than 3 feet away. Okay, so the reason it says 0.0 volts is because I haven't hooked up the sensor yet, so that's fine. So now that that's all set, I'm going to turn this off. I'll unplug the battery. Okay, and so we're good to go. Now, if you haven't seen some of my other videos using the TM1000 module, you have to have a sensor plugged into this between the ESC and the battery that goes into the middle port of the TM1000 module, and so you'll see that later in the final setup. So now that this is bound together, I also know that the servos are now centered, and I can go on to the next step, which is laying out where everything goes and making sure that the servo arms are in the right place and so forth. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.